Nearly every single pedestrian car in GTA since the start of GTA has been tested by me, and I kind of know a thing or two about the best ones out there. In this video, I'm going to be showing you some, and you can go just get them for free on the street. I feel like it's offensive to just speak about why the Intruder is such a good free car. Like, everyone should know. The Intruder, like a genuine chasers, is the only one in GTA, which still makes zero sense. Like, why have Rockstar not added a chaser? I'm hoping they do a Tuners Part 2, and they do add these chaser modifications, or they add a whole new garage to do with only chasers. It might be boring for the general GTA player, but for those car guys, that would be so cool. Having old chasers, new chasers. I actually have 5 of these, I think, now. And it's so easily attainable. You see them all the time. And you don't even have to make it a chaser build. You can have a stock build. And that looks so cool and pedestrianized. And it's just such a gentleman type car. Hear me out, guys. Hear me out. The Rumpo. I mean, a lot of you are probably thinking, hello, why have you got the Rumpo? A lot of you probably don't even know you could add this to your garage. It is one of those cars that looks like it's not modifiable because there are vans in the game that are not actually customizable and you can't keep in your garage. But this is one that you can. You guys might know about the Rumpo custom, but this is the original Rumpo. The Weasel News van, you can actually take these liveries off. You can only put like wheels on there, but at least it has a livery option. That's more than the new Jester RR wide body. It has more modifications. But you put low grips on this thing and it basically becomes a drift van. And then you can slam this thing as well. And then people will just look at you like you're crazy, but at the same time, they'll be fascinated. The original Gauntlet. There has been so many variants of the Gauntlet, and we're taking it back to the OG one. And to be fair, there's not many modifications for this car. It comes with the strip, the classic strip that many cars have, like the Banshee. But there's one unique thing about this car, and it is that sound. This car sounds so good, I can't describe it. It's got the tame muscle car sound, where no matter how much you accelerate, it sounds like a raw muscle car grunt that's not even trying. So a low revving V8. And this is a car I just like to chill and drive. But I recommend you guys at home, put your headphones on, put the volume up, turn the music off, and just drive this car. The Schwarzer was a brilliant car, a car that I'd recommend before it got updated. A car that's so cool, that has these handling physics that makes it a great drift car. So yeah, before the new low grip tires, before they added any modifications to this car was recommended. It was such a cool car. But now they've added new upgrades to the car, new modifications, new liveries. You know, with Rockstar's logic right now, I don't understand why they didn't bring another Schwarzer that had more customizations and charged like $1 million for it. They just added modifications for free. With the Surfer, they added a new Surfer bus that had modifications and charged 400k for that. It's crazy that this car's still free, and get it. If you don't have this already, I don't know what to say. Do I dare state the name Jackal again? People are just going to be like, Hella, the Jackal is in all your videos. Why do you keep going on about the Jackal? But for those of you who have tried it and you've watched my videos, you'll be like, Hella, there's a reason you go on about the Jackal, and you're correct. It's underrated, needs to be shouted on about. This car, the width, the stance is all great and all. The little few modifications you can put on it that are so subtle and yet so cool, that's all great. It's the handling on this thing. The handling is impeccable. You turn corners and you are turning corners. I always say it. I say that this car's handling looks like it's made for a car twice its power. It handles better than a lot of supercars, but it makes no sense because it only has a little power. Such a satisfying car. You need to, as soon as you see one, go in passive mode so no one blows it up, get in it, and go put insurance on it. For those of you who know how good the Stratum is. It's such a unique vehicle, such a good looking vehicle. But something that I just realized recently, I don't know why I've never noticed this, but I was getting outside my Weasel Plaza once, and I just had my controller resting on my lap, and it just pressed R2 and it drove straight, and then it ramped over these steps, and I was thinking, what? Like, how is this car with this clearance getting over that? And then I realized that it has a weird handling bug like that. It almost acts like an SUV. It just drives up things really well. It gets up steps really good. It almost ramps off steps. It's got some weird climbability features. But if you guys seen my video on how you can actually get the rare options for this car, those rare options being the splitter, the spoiler being the main ones, it transforms the car. It reminds me of GTA 4 when you have to go look for the Futo, the one that had the spoiler and was more sporty looking. The Bison's one of those cars I also go on about. That's because you can do various things with it. And to be fair, it's not seen much in GTA Online. This thing can actually tow. So if you find a random vehicle towing as a pedestrian, you can go and take whatever trailer it has and put it on your Bison and drive around whilst this thing is upgraded. But there's a main feature where you can actually start floating and doing the little action thing where if you have a friend that sits in the driver's seat and then you sit in the back and then you hover over the interaction menu and press on an action and then press triangle or exit, and then your character just starts floating. You can walk around by pressing aim and someone has to be close by next to you. Otherwise, you could just cancel it by emoting again. It's so funny and baffles so many people to the point where they'll think you're hacking. The F620 is on the list because it's really the closest you can get to a supercar and still get it free off the street. It doesn't even look like a car that you should be able to get off the street, but it is. It's a great, stable car. It's fast, but not fast compared to supercars. It does the job. You can lower this thing and it looks beautiful lowered. It's got the sporty shape and it's one of those cars that doesn't make you look broke in GTA. If you're a brand new player and you're on like level 3 and you've got enough to insure one, get a color on it, you don't look like you're a level 3. I think this car looks beautiful stance and is a good option. The Picador. A weird, quirky, cool pickup. This thing is all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive bias. It can do wheelies because it's in the muscle car category, and that would be normally enough to recommend it. But just like the Schwarzer, this is another car that's been updated, and it has many modifications on it that make this car not at all look like a car you can get off the street. It makes it look like a car that's worth around 1 million nowadays. The performance might not all be there, but you have so many liveries, so many splitter options, so many bed options. Again, it makes no sense why Rockstar just added these modifications for free when we know what Rockstar are like. We know their history and we know they charge a dumb amount for everything. The Roto, I mean, you can't blame me for getting this wrong because you hardly ever see this car being driven by other players. You'll see it rarely spawn. It will spawn, but it's not a more common spawn. This thing is a sporty SUV that, I'm not gonna lie, looks quite basic from the front, but from the rear, I love the design features. It's got that V6 sound as well. That makes it sound so sporty with 4 exhausts. Again, another one that does not look free. The front of this, again, looks free. It doesn't look great. But the rear of this, which is obviously what you see all the time when you're driving, looks and sounds amazing. And if you want to be unique, if you want to be that guy that has cars that no one else has, the Roto is a really good option. And I can guarantee most of your friends have never even had this in their garage. So I've mentioned our Discord many times in the past. So much useful information. So many things you could do, buy stuff off people. It's crazy. All thanks to our Discord members. We have such a good community here. We have 40,000 people and we've kicked all the inactive people, which was more than double that amount. I think we are going to have to limit this someday. I think we are going to have to limit this sometime soon because when GTA 6 comes out, we're not going to be able to handle the volume. So get in it before we start closing it and limiting it. It is the first link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy it and see you guys in the next one.